guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my September book haul part 2. So these are all the new books that I bought this month. Most of these I bought online, or yeah, most of them, except for 2, which I actually bought at a writer's fair that our local library put on, and I got them from 2 independent authors. So are independent, you know, they're indie authors, so they're self-publishing. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I picked up 2 books, and we'll start with those. So the first one I picked up was Kiss by Darkness by Shea McLoin. I don't know, McLeod. Let's see, look, I don't know. Sorry, she never said her last name when I was there. I always heard her first name, but anyway. So this book is the first in the Sunwalker Saga series. I'm not sure how long it is. It's several books long at least, and it has to do with the bounty. It's an urban fantasy, probably / paranormal romance. I think it's more urban fantasy actually. So, and it's she's a bounty hunter who goes after rogue vampires, and she's going after one that's a sunwalker, which is a vampire who's immune, who actually can walk out in the sunshine. So, and I guess he's not exactly what she expected, and there's more to what's going on in her assignment than she knew when she took the job. So, other than that, I don't know a whole lot. I know I've seen this like on Amazon, being advertised of something I would like, and it was neat that I got to meet her, and she is a local author. So I'm looking forward to reading an independent author. Another one that I picked up is more of a science fiction one, which is The Core of Conflict by Michael A. Jacob. If I could show that very well. So this was the first in I think it was a trilogy, and it has to do with a guy who was doing some work for somebody who's actually like his enemy, but he had forgotten himself, and his friends find him, or something finds him, and he gets his memories back, and he realizes everything he's done during that time he'd lost his memories, and it's kind of the consequences of, and his I guess maybe his redemption story for all the stuff he's done. I'm not quite sure. As I said, I haven't heard a lot about it. I just took a chance and bought a book, and to try a new author. And again, she was at the writer's fair, so I thought that was pretty cool, and I picked up her book. So we'll see how that goes. Then I had a couple of pre-orders, and this is one that I pre-ordered a long time ago, thinking, oh, by the time I got it, I would have read the second book in the trilogy, so then I could finish the trilogy, and see how that's gone with a lot of things. So anyway, this is Death's End by Shan Liu, and I have not read the second book, The Dark Forest. I did read The Three-Body Problem, which is the first book in this series. I guess this is the Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy. And I really liked the first book. I mean, it was hard to get through, and I really liked it, though, enough that I bought the second book. And then I pre-ordered the third book for paperback, and I haven't read the second book. So it's on my list to read. And again, this is a trilogy I do want to get to, because it is written by a Chinese author, and you know, it's sci-fi, and it sounds really cool. So I can't talk about this one because I haven't got that far, but I know the first one had to do with, it's kind of aliens, where I don't know, it's been a while since I read it. I'd have to go back and look at it, but anyway, I don't know if anybody's or continued on with this series. I kind of want to know if I should. I know I've read the first book. I kind of want to read the second book and the third book, but now I own them now, so I probably should, but I don't know. It was a while ago since I read the first book. I don't want to reread it. What do you think? Do I have to reread it? I hope not. No, I guess that, okay, so then I had 2 other pre-orders, ones that just came. So I got the, I think this is like number 26 of Lindsay Sand's Immortally Yours. It's Argano novels. So these are paranormal romances with vampires. I've read probably about half this series, but I'm behind. Like, I think now this is like 13 or 14 books I'm behind. So I need to stop pre-ordering. I think these are just fun, cute love stories with, romance stories with, but it has, like, as I said, some of the characters carry over, and you kind of get to see some of them later, but there's always a new couple in each of the books. So, but these again, I like books like this that are fun, but you learn about all like the family members, and then there's cousins, and then there's other people who work for them, and it just is an expanding series of people who know each other, who work with each other, or are relatives of each other, and I really like it because again, it's you get to see characters that you've done before, and again, I just find them sweet. I think they're always fun. There's some really funny books in this series, and so I'm always hoping it's gonna make me laugh, because a lot of them do. So anyway, so I got another one, and I really should buy any more until I get caught up at least. Next year's project, right? And then the book I was super anticipating this month is Archangels Viper by Nalini Singh. Now this is book 10 in the Guild Hunter series. It's I love this series by her. It's just phenomenal, and I'm so looking for. I'm already reading about halfway through, so I did pick this up fairly quickly after I got it. This series again is an urban. It's okay. It's a paranormal romance. It's marketed at that, but it's really, I would say it's one of the best world building books that I've seen, and I just love the world. It has archangels and angels and vampires, and then normal humans, and they're like in New York. They're all across the world too, but I meant New York is the biggest. New York City is the biggest location, and it's like modern day, but with vampires and angels and archangels that rule over. Are there. It's just, I don't know. I'm explaining that horribly. But this is book 10, and I'm already loving it, and I'm already halfway through, so I'll probably finish this tonight, because it is wonderful. It is fun. So, then some other books that I got, just because I've seen them on other people's channels. And I got The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington, I think. There's no description on the back here. I just remember hearing about this on a couple people's channels that have read it. And I think it has to do with some guy who goes to do some magical test, and he finds out he's not going to pass or something, and then he runs away. So I don't actually know a lot about this. I'm actually going to this very, very blind, and I hear it's really good. So it's huge, but I figure when I sit down and do it, I'll just read it, and we'll see what happens. So that's going to be kind of interesting. A book I saw on Rachel's channel, Kalanadi, was Genemapper by Taiyo Fuji? I don't know. Anyway, this sounded really interesting. Again, it's a Japanese author. I actually don't know if it was translated by Jim Hubert, or Hubbard. Sorry, it's Hubbard. So this one is about it says in the back, it says, in the future where reality has been augmented and biology itself has been hacked, the world's food supply is genetically modified, superior, and vulnerable. When the Genemapper Hayashida discovers that his custom rice plant has experienced a dysgenic collapse, he suspects sabotage. And then he kind of travels around Asia to figure out what's going on. I don't know. She seemed to like it, and I thought I'd give it a shot. It's and again, it says, in the world without hunger, knowledge is power, and biology a weapon. So I don't know. I guess I'm just looking for different kind of sci-fi books or stuff that are different, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting to read one about I don't know, genetic plants. I don't know. We'll see. It just sounded interesting. I also picked up The Ice Princess by Camilla Lackberg. I guess this is... Oh, I can't remember if this was a Swedish author. Crap, now I can't remember. But this one I saw on Mel's Bookish Adventure, I think. Bookland Adventure. I'm sorry. Mel's Bookland Adventure. I think she's doing a read-along or reading it during the month of October. I think that's where I saw it. Anyway, so it's a mystery about a woman who goes back home and when one of her friends has passed away, and she gets kind of caught up, I think, in the mystery of it with the detective. I'm not quite sure. I don't know a lot about it. I just thought it sounded interesting, and I like to read from other places, some other novelists that oh, I didn't even look to see. This is probably translated too, right? Translated, oh, from Swedish. Hey, I was right. Okay. By Stephen T. Murray. So, I'm just gonna check out another mystery. As I said, I'm trying to expand all the stuff I read. Then I picked up a couple of Jodie Taylor books. I picked up the second book in her Chronicles of St. Mary series, Symphony of Echoes. I read the first book. Oh, what was the name of that book? It just went right out of my head. You'd think I'd remember. I just read it. It was like, it's really fun. Anyway, oh, I can't find it. But, you know, anyway, blank out. It's not on here. I don't know, my computer. Anyway, so this is the second book. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, so this is the second book, so I wanted to continue on with this series. It's actually the first one I bought. I actually don't have the first book, which is why I can't just look to see what it's called, because I haven't bought the first book yet, so I'll get around to it. So, but these are fun. They're like historians who go back in time to see kind of what happened, and the first book was really good, and it had a lot of emotions that I was not expecting to feel for what I thought was just gonna be kind of a fun little, you know, time travel fantasy, you know, kind of thing, and I was really surprised, so I'm looking forward to continuing with that series. And I also picked up The Long and Short of It, which is all the short stories or novellas that go along with it. I saw a lot of them on like Kindle, and I thought, well, they just had them a bind up of them, so I just bought the bind up so I could read them in between once I get to the point, you know, like I've read the book and then I can read the one in the middle before going on to the next book. So I guess I planned ahead by buying the whole thing instead of buying them singly as I needed them. So I don't know if that was a good buy or not. I don't know. And then the last new book I picked up was a really cheap copy of Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, I picked up several of hers in my used book haul. But I also found this one. It was this Dover thrift edition. So it was pretty cheap. And I think Mary Barton was her first novel, and it has to do with a woman who is trying to escape her working class background, I think, but she catches the eye of the factory owner's son, but she also has a sweetheart, so she's not sure which way she's going to go. I don't know. I mean, I guess Elizabeth Gaskell does a lot during the Victorian age, wrote a lot about the working class and stuff like that. So I now have four of her story novels or novellas, and I have one collection of short stories by her. So I need to start reading her instead of buying. So anyway, those are all the new books that I bought in September. Have you guys read any of these? Anything I should prioritize? You know, some of these, like, I'm already reading this one, and so that'll be done here in a couple hours, I swear. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying that. So, but hey, should I get back to the to this series? I mean, I don't know. I still didn't remember putting it on pre-order, really, but should I get back to this? Do I have to read the first book over again before I read the second and the third book? What do you think? Why don't you guys let me know? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.